Welcome, Virgo. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, and I'm getting ready to do a reading for you, focused particularly on the planet Jupiter, which is moving direct after a retrograde cycle in the sign of Cancer. And this is having an impact on your aspirations, your vision for humankind, your work with the diversity of communities, quite likely around the globe or at an international level. I pulled a couple of oracle cards, one from the energy archaeology and the other from the talismanic oracle. I have laid out the Mayan tarot in the past, present, and future. Present, past, future. I will clarify with the Crow Tarot and finish up with the Crystal Oracle. And so for your energy archaeology, this particular oracle deck aligns energy pathways through the bones of your body. And so there are some phalanges, your fingers and toes, which are indicated as energies that you are experiencing right now. And I'll read from the guidebook, which includes properties, but also a wisdom. When in balance, the key words are centered and judicious. The wisdom reads, true power in this world is not power over nature or over people, but power within yourself. The world around you and your experiences in life will shape the stories you tell. How you feel about power and how the frequency of power flows through your fingers and takes up residence in your core. Because power is an amplifier, your view and feelings about power are intensified in your body and mirrored in the world around you. In this way, power can become fractured, fragmented, and distorted. As you align with your sovereign power as a creator being, you call back in all those distorted stories and clear them. You can now welcome power in its true state, a resounding, cohesive roar. Power rings clearly from your body when you create your world from the sovereign essence of your being. There's no need for dominance and or submission. We can caretake one another and the earth as equals. This is coupled with magical power from the talismanic tarot. And this is a beautiful moth energy that is here, kind of elevating the idea of the cliched emblem for transformation, the butterfly. The moth has a different kind of mobility than the butterfly. It quite often is mobile at night and is drawn to the light in a way that is not possible for the butterfly who is birthed and moves around in daylight. So I'm feeling this is a pull that centers around the way that you are experiencing a disillusion of structures. And for you, with a ruling sign, Virgo, of Mercury, Mercury being retrograde at this moment, you are being challenged by the limits of data, information, order, tasks and responsibilities in the external world that you take personal responsibility for. Your careful research, putting together, making sense of the bigger story through the details is one that is dissolving in your own experiences of life. So there's a way in which the careful effort you make, quite likely in your professional life, for many of you, this focuses on your career, your work, is meeting a new kind of resistance that is not easily articulated, but it is deeply experienced. It's as if you've gone beyond the words that you've accumulated, the language that you feel safe and grounded in. And as a result of that, you may be experiencing a new kind of birthing or journey that is taking you more deeply into your feelings, This is actually an area of gift for many of you. Some gift that you have carried with you throughout your life, throughout your experiences, is asking to be examined, explored, experienced in a new way, opening up, building upon the careful foundation that you've laid. And as an overall theme, Virgo, I have the Two of Swords, and this is really describing a kind of, I won't say it's a war, but it is this oppositional continuum of your mind and your body that can also be seen as your heart and your mind. But the way the body holds your deepest desires, those desires that are difficult in some ways to articulate or claim or feel that you have earned, is really bumping up against what you feel is your lane, your role, your job, your duty. And there is a compulsion to move in this area of magical power, a magical power that you confront, I think, at many levels, but are facing off with more and more through your fairly organized and regimented approach to your labors. And this is perhaps going back to the seed of desire, this gift that you hold that is begging for articulation, for expression in your life. And for many of you, the road you have trodden has been essential to your role as a provider, a caretaker, responsible for the well-being of others. And in moving in this direction, which feels more nebulous, certainly more magical, certainly more emotional, less conscious control, more delving into those areas that actually control and motivate our actions beyond our conscious minds. You are feeling a sense of responsibility to those that you feel you may be leaving behind. I'm going to pull for the presence, and you have the Hierophant. This is a fancy word for the Pope or some kind of religious, organizational, institutional authority. For many of you, you are this face, you are this energy, you are this gatekeeper, educator, one who is responsible for the entire social power that educates, that grooms, that trains, that initiates individuals into various professional or occupational fields of activity. You may be a literal teacher in whatever work that you do, responsible for mentoring, bringing new accolades, lights, or students along with you into the next level of achievement in order to enter into, to be initiated into the work of an organization or an institution. So there's a strong gatekeeper energy that I feel is being ruffled at this time. It's being argued with for this desire to personally delve into more emotional, magical, nebulous, dreamy energies that you are feeling increasingly pulled towards. And I think for many of you, at some level, you recognize this is a greater responsibility towards the education or the training that you have delivered so far. That actually what you may be afraid of is the authority that you begin to make vulnerable as part of your process of teaching. Part of the process of learning is opening up to learn from those whom you teach. So this is a very magical, exciting, and very spiritual path that you are now entering into. And it feels like, as so often is the case with you, Virgo, that you have established a very firm material foundation that you have built upon. And in order to go further, to build further, you must release some of what you can now take for granted. Your organization, your ability to sort, to figure out, to articulate, to give a voice to what can be for many people a conglomeration of facts, figures, or information that you can give a story to. In the past, we have the Servant of Cups, and this feels as though this desire for the imaginative self, the creative self, the playful self, truly, the more gentle self that is within you. There's almost a feeling that you have locked it inside, where it couldn't be vulnerable, where it couldn't be hurt, where those who rely on you refuse to coax that spirit, that gentle, childlike spirit out, that kindness out, unless it served them directly. And this is not to say that loved ones or those that you protect and care for have used or exploited you, but rather they allowed you to play that role as a caretaker as it served them. And as you gain such a clear sense of identity and empowerment from being able to take care of them, that's legitimate, but that is no longer serving you in the way that you might have expected to be experiencing some reciprocal joy. And in fact, I believe many of you are being greatly influenced by children, young people, perhaps children of your own, to speak to something deeper within yourself. In the future, the Ten of Jades is really speaking on this very idea that this creative desire, this imaginative energy that you bring, that you have kept closely contained, is now you recognize the building block of the community that you are moving towards. This community includes your professional practice, your home, your loved ones, friends and family, in a way that is beginning to look like the world that you want to see more broadly. There's something about sharing resources that, as an amplification of your own power and resources, in the same way that this is experienced by others in your community, in your work, if that is your community, in your home, wherever and however you call your collective experience. This is creating safety for the experience of sharing, and that means not just sharing the good things in life. This is about sharing everything. This is the safety to share what has hurt, what has damaged, what has been painful. And I think the trust that is required is something that you are now building up in your life. And this is creating a very bountiful, rich, enriched social experience that feels as though you have striven in the past to trust such an environment. There is always this sense of a loner or the hermit as one of your cards, as an energy that you carry with you. And just because we do our best work when we're alone, as scholars, thinkers, creators, doesn't mean that we want to be isolated. And I do feel that isolation is something you, as many thinkers, creators, do struggle with that. So I hope this reading is resonating with you so far, Virgo. If so, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. I appreciate all of you who are with me now and support me in all the many ways that you do. And darn, I barely got this out. So clarifying the Servant of Cups or the Page of Wands is the 6, or Page of Cups is the 6 of Wands, and the Page of Pentacles. Clarifying the Hierophant is the 7 of Wands and the 3 of Pentacles. And this deck is hot. The 10 of Jades is clarified by just one card, the Ace of Cups. Yay! So the story currently is going in a very similar way that it has. Don't forget that your ruling sign Mercury, even though retrograde in Pisces, your opposite sign, is conjoined the moon, the recent full moon, lunar eclipse, and Venus. The sign of Venus has just moved into early degree of Aries. And so this energy is about a new way of loving for you, a new way of showing up primarily for yourself, with the trust in yourself and the universe, in your community, that has benefit far beyond your own experience of joy, pleasure, creativity, imagination. In the past, the Servant of Cups is clarified here by the 6 of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. There's some way in which you have agreed with self, with community, with the universe to be a team player, to be part of a legion of others who do their part for the greater good. Understanding, as many Virgos do instinctively, your purpose here is service. Whatever kind of work you do, you see it as service. And you, in that spirit, are willing to do whatever is necessary, whatever you need to learn to do your job in the best way possible, in a way that offers concrete resources and tools to others, makes what you are learning, what you are building, as accessible as possible to others. So this is very grounded energy that you're invested in, and an energy in which you are rewarded by the appreciation, the recognition of your peers. And this is basically part of the foundation of this community you see yourself increasingly becoming a part of. The Hierophant clarified by the 7 of Wands and the 3 of Pentacles. Yeah. You do your best work alone. And I think it's so interesting that the archetype of the Hermit has come up for you previously, because you understand that in order to exercise your gifts, to do your work in the most responsible, thorough way, you must say no to many distractions, particularly to those who always expect you to be available and of service to them when called upon. There's some way in your life that you're learning to structure healthier boundaries, and that is to the end of productive collaborations. So it feels as though you're shifting your social focus from the traditional caretaking and nurturing that you have often done in the past, helping, fixing whatever you can, whoever you can, when asked to do so. And this idea of collaboration in which you engage with equals, experts in some particular area, to build something consciously, a resource to improve upon something that already exists, to make it more available, more accessible, and more beautiful. I rarely use the word perfection because I think it can be such a dangerous, toxic word. But in this case, for you, Virgo, with a kind of spiritual purity, I think you actually address the idea of perfection in your effort. For you, it isn't important that you do everything, but your expertise reflects a kind of thoroughness and diligence that leaves no stone unturned. So when you join a group of similarly aligned experts or professionals, you bring your A game and you allow yourself to learn from those who have a distinct expertise from yours in the interest of collaborating, co-creating together, making this a truly creative process, one in which all of you have ownership over the final project or product, and one in which you are allowed to be an expert, are allowed to think freely, to respond appropriately in a team of like creators. And in the future, the Ten of Jades is clarified by the Ace of Cups, and this really is giving the ultimate flavor to this community, this collective experience that you're cultivating, not just for your personal life, but for the world. The Ace of Cups is really speaking to that particular gift of yours that mostly stays hidden, has mostly stayed protected or undeveloped. And you are creating an environment ultimately where this gift can be and will be developed. You understand that you need a certain kind of abundance and protection that is not in isolation, but leaves you to the option of privacy and engagement, participation, in order to safely develop this talent, this gift you have in a way that centers your own experience and makes that intimate relationship between the work that you've built and the person you are becoming, the person you are allowing yourself to become. I'm going to finish this reading with a crystal oracle, and I've pulled the ametrine, and the key word is intuition. I'm fully aligned with my intuition. I trust this powerful wisdom to guide me. Thank you so much, Virgo, for this beautiful reading. Until next time, namaste.